What's up, guys? Back at it again with another crisp review, and today, a much long overdue review of the X Plus EX Mother Legion. So, to get started off, let me grab this huge box and throw it up here for you. So on the front is just a big open window, and it has all this down here, which I'm saying is probably says Mother Legion, Symbiotic Legion, Gamma 2, Advent Legion, whatever. EX, X Plus with the Dai logo. Pretty simple. Top, Gamma 2, Advent Legion, and then the Greatest Japanese Giants Collection from X Plus. Bottom is nothing. And then the back is the cool stuff with some images from basically the Heisei Gamera series with some 95 pictures, 96, 99, all kinds of cool stuff with Gauss, Legion, Iris, Gamera, bunch of cool stuff, and then some assembly instructions that are kind of misleading because it doesn't come in 2 pieces in the box, it comes in like 5 pieces. And if you want to see what I'm talking about, go watch my unboxing video of this because I did get it mint in this box, like never before had been opened and taken out. I got this figure and it's relatively old. Let's see, there should be a date somewhere, right? I think it's early 2000s. I don't quite remember. I will get back to that and post it somewhere. I know my boy Bio Goji 89 corrected me last time, so I will have to look at that. But anyways, getting onto the figure. This is obviously the X Plus EX Mother Legion, not the new released Mother Legion, which is like, I don't even know, is that giant scale or is it 25 or 30? I'm not quite sure, but that thing is huge compared to this one. This is the old X Plus one, which is fine enough for me. Definitely long overdue for me to get one of these, any kind of Mother Legion. But getting right onto it, as you can tell, the detail and work on this is incredible. Obviously, you can expect that from an X Plus, but you can tell that a lot of care went into sculpting all of these different kind of creases and everything. All of the eggs and stuff on the front, the tentacles, or I don't even know, not tentacles. There's like tendrils or fingers coming out of the top of her giant horn. Face looks really good. Got all the creases and the split there. Awesome. The legs, or the front legs, look great. So do the kind of giant side arm. I don't even know what to call them. I don't know what to call anything on her, honestly, because she's just a big bug. And I don't know my bug anatomy well enough, especially alien bugs. But this just looks great. On the back, the top, the back, everything looks awesome. Everything's sculpted super nice. It does have some weight to it, so start to shake holding it out like this. It's because it's kind of an awkward way to hold it. And then on the bottom there's some sculpting, but other than that, then there's just this flat little kind of slug tail thing going on with the X Plus print on the bottom there. So that's pretty cool. The sculpting is really nice. It's pretty awesome all the way around. Everything has an immaculate amount of detail, and I cannot express how good it looks. It's really kind of, X Pluses really are kind of like an in-person kind of thing. For the painting, I mean, it's all kind of cast in this like light brown beigeish, almost like half gray brown vinyl, which is, I don't know, it's the correct color. I mean, based on what we've seen in the movie, it's pretty accurate. And then all about it, it has these darker kind of brown highlights that are on the face and all in here, all up in there, just kind of like coating the entire figure It has all of these dark brown highlights, a lot back here and a lot on the tips of these. And then the only other coloring and painting would be the orange on the chest for all the little Legion eggs, and then the really nice metallic blue shine in the eyes. So can't complain about the paint at all. It's done very, very nicely. It's applied very clean and precise, so really can't complain with that. Since the figure is assembled out of the box, you do get some articulation just where the parts are assembled. The main thing you're going to get is you're going to get kind of like a twist up here with the top section of the body can rotate back and forth if you want to position it a little differently. The head can spin around just fine. It will go 360. And then the big back legs can actually be slightly positioned if you wanted to raise it up, kind of like in a larger state. You can do that, but it does get a little wobbly because they're not symmetric on each side due to the kind of like sculpting that they chose. But they do move just fine if you want to move those around. For some size comparisons, here it is with the Bandai 96 Gamera, and I'll be honest with you, this size comparison right here honestly works, in my opinion, a lot better than the Bandai version of Mother Legion. So that's one of the benefits of this figure. Although this figure is harder to find, the size comparison with this Bandai figure looks, I think, better. I don't know how it scales up to the other little X plus EX Gameras. I've never been able to snag one for a decent price, but if I do get one, I will get back to that. Here she is with the cast of Gamera 3. But obviously, the figures from this movie were a lot smaller than the past two movies' releases. I'm not quite sure what the scale kind of change was there, but you can tell that this Gamera, the Gamera from 99, is way smaller. Like, this is tiny. This is probably almost closer to what the movie representation of the 96 Gamera would be, and then obviously Iris being really small in comparison as well, and then the, I think these are the Hyper Gauss? Yeah. But definitely a big change there. And then lastly, on the Gamera side, we have the original release of the Hyper Gauss from 94, and you can tell that this figure is obviously in an 8-inch scale, and being an older figure, it's bigger by nature, and this is obviously huge compared to the Legion, like height-wise, but not like mass-wise. So you're probably wondering if this is an X Plus figure, but it's not like in the scales that you're familiar with because this is a figure on the older end. Well, I'll just show you how small it is by comparing a 30 centimeter Godzilla and then a 25 centimeter Godzilla with the 2004 or 2003 and 2016 Shin Godzilla. So as you can tell, this figure is pretty small in comparison to the more recent released X Plus figures. So my overall impressions of the X Plus EX Mother Legion is that this really is kind of one of those rarer figures. You honestly don't see it for sale that often. I didn't even know it existed until I saw it for sale on eBay, and I just kind of impulse bought it because I had been looking for a Mother Legion for so long, because she's one of my favorite kaiju. If you can't tell, my channel's kind of named after that movie. So I saw this and I was like, what is this figure? So I did some research and I found out what it was, and I was like, this is a way better figure than the Bandai one, because they're relatively the same size. I mean, this is actually bigger. This one looks way better. It's detailed more authentically. It's painted better. All of the appendages and everything. The other one, the Bandai one, just kind of looks like a blob with spikes. I mean, that's a little harsh, but it really doesn't look good. And this being listed on eBay for relatively the same price as the Bandai one at the time, I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to get this one instead. So I bought this one, especially because it was mint in the box. Of course, the box has some damages, but it had never been removed. All the twist ties and everything were still in there. So that was crazy. And I fell in love with this thing. I honestly think that this is one of the better Mother Legion figures out there for that kind of price point. Obviously, the new super huge one, especially the Rick one that lights up by X Plus, is going to be way better than this, but that's obviously out of most people's budgets. So this is kind of a good alternative if you're just looking for like an X Plus Mother Legion. It doesn't have to go in scale with your other huge X Pluses. This is just an overall really, really, really amazing figure. And it's kind of one of those things that you don't see very often, so I'm kind of proud to have it. I think there's only like one other video on YouTube about this figure, and it's really kind of like, this is what it is, look at it, cool, hot buy. And I kind of want to really just go over like how incredible this thing looks. Obviously, I'm babbling on about it, but I mean, that's one of the cool things about this, is that it's just something different. And honestly, if you guys are as big of a fan of this movie, Gamera 2, and the kaiju of the kind of like the Legion, I definitely recommend trying to find this figure over the Bandai one if you haven't got one yet and you're trying to, because this is going to be the better figure, and especially if you can get them around the same price, you'd be crazy to pick the Bandai one. Unless you're some kind of like Bandai vinyl completionist, I get that, but this is the better one. I'm going to tell you that right now, from having both of them in my hands and the personal experience. This is going to be your better option. But that's all I got for you today. Let me know what you guys think about this figure, honestly, and give me suggestions for future figure reviews, since I am back home and I have access to everything. But that's going to be it, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out.